you're struggling to have everything you want, while the world tries to make you choose.
Who is going to die in Spider-Man No Way Home? The newest trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home, combined with an interview that Tom Holland recently did, make it abundantly clear that somebody, or possibly multiple people, will die in this movie. I am very quickly going to go over the 4 most likely candidates, and then explain why I believe 2 of them are safe, and the other 2 will most likely both die. First, one of the obvious picks is MJ, Michelle Jones, Peter Parker's love interest, and heavily teased by the trailer to be the one that dies. We see her fall off the scaffolding around the Statue of Liberty in the fight against Sandman, Electro, and Lizard. We see Spider-Man dive, try to catch her. Now, like in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, the Spider-Man franchise is no stranger to killing off love interest. But let's move on to the second person. That would be Peter Parker's best friend, Ned Leeds. Ned Leeds is also put into a dangerous predicament at the same time that MJ is. As MJ falls off the scaffolding, Ned grabs onto a pole that falls over and leaves him dangling tens of hundreds of feet up into the air, however tall the Statue of Liberty is, I'm not too sure. So he is very likely also going to fall there. A lot of people believe that this is going to force Peter to choose between the 2. He's going to have to choose which one to save, and the other will die. I am not fully subscribed to that, but I will acknowledge that Ned Leeds is indeed in danger here. Having Ned fall here and get seriously injured could also lead into him becoming the Hobgoblin, which a lot of people have been speculating. I'm not fully up to date with the info on that, so I can't really speak on it. All I can really do is say that Ned Leeds is a likely candidate to die. Moving on, we have Happy Hogan. Happy Hogan would definitely be another emotional death for Peter. It would also be very emotional for the audience knowing that his character has sort of taken up this uncle status, uncle position for Tony Stark's young daughter. We got that, that heart-wrenching scene at the end of Endgame where Happy Hogan promises Tony Stark's daughter to buy her all the cheeseburgers that she could ever want. So seeing him die, that would be a very sad, emotional scene. We saw him come to the rescue of Peter Parker near the end of Far From Home. That death would be very impactful to Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Next up, the final candidate would, of course, be Aunt May. Aunt May would, without a doubt, be the most emotional death for this Peter Parker to go through. And that is why I think she is going to be one of the 2 that gets killed. I am 100% betting that Aunt May, Tom Holland's Peter Parker's Aunt May, is going to die in this movie. And not only will she die, Happy Hogan is also going to die. That'll leave Ned Leeds and Zendaya, MJ, perfectly fine. Here is my logic to this. There is a rumor going around, and it might be fact by this point, that they are doing another Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy. And this trilogy is going to be a college trilogy for Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Now, if Tom Holland goes off to college, or Peter Parker goes off to college, we're not going to see much of Aunt May and Happy Hogan. Aunt May and Happy Hogan are, of course, seeing each other. They are romantically involved. And if they move in together and start their own little life, they're not going to be going to visit Peter all that often. But you know who can go to college and visit very often? Ned Leeds and MJ. In fact, the 2 of them could just get accepted to the same school as Peter, and they can just continue their status quo together. So I just think from a practicality standpoint, and from an emotional standpoint, why not just kill off the 2 characters that won't even be seen in the new trilogy that often? That just makes the most sense to me. Why keep these 2 characters around and not do anything with them when you can kill them off, make a great emotional impact on the fans, and use them for something? Don't let them sit on the shelf forever in the new trilogy. That makes the most sense to me. So I am locking in my bet right now. I believe that Aunt May and Happy Hogan are both going to die. Now, that is kind of confusing because near the end of the newest trailer, we got this scene where Peter Parker was talking to presumably Aunt May. Her back was turned to us, but it looked like Aunt May, talking about how he can't save everybody. And he's wearing this suit, like maybe a new Iron Spider suit, I think, that we only see him wear towards the end of the movie. I have my own crazy conspiracy theory about that, about how that might not even be Tom Holland's Peter Parker, but I'll get into that some other time. I just want to say that what we see in the trailer there doesn't really affect my thoughts here at all. Because a lot of people have been saying online that when Peter is apologizing to Aunt May, saying that he can't save everybody, a lot of people are saying that that scene is after the big death in the movie. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be that way. That's not necessarily the case. I do firmly believe that Aunt May and Happy Hogan are going to die. MJ and Ned Leeds are going to survive. Ned Leeds isn't going to become Hobgoblin now. Probably never. He will probably never become Hobgoblin. I just don't think he has the look for it, you know? He's this kind of innocent, harmless looking kid, and I don't think you can turn that into the Hobgoblin. That's just me. If they do it and he pulls it off, more power to him in the studio. I just don't see it happening. I don't. Not at all. But yeah, I believe Aunt May and Happy Hogan are going to bite the dust in this movie. I think it's very possible that we see Happy pull up in the car outside their apartment building. Then we see those law enforcement members approach the car. We see the laser sights on him. I think it's very possible that we see Happy die in that car. I believe there's a scene in the trailer where a pumpkin bomb gets thrown at it. I think it's very possible we see him die there. Then we get that shot of Aunt May running, presumably in their apartment or somewhere close to home. I think it's very possible that she is running outside because she just saw Happy's car get blown up. And then as soon as she gets out there, maybe the Green Goblin kills her too, or possibly those law enforcement officers we saw. What is that? The DODC, I think. Maybe they shoot her as she runs out of the apartment, thinking that she's Spider-Man or a villain or something. Regardless, Happy Hogan and Aunt May are going to die, and MJ and Ned Leeds are going to survive. Those are my thoughts. Those are my bets. I think it's pretty likely. And yeah, that's about it. I appreciate you watching this video. If you haven't already, like and a subscribe would be greatly appreciated. And for now, that's it. See ya.